So it introduced me to the business side of it a little bit more and how it can be sustainable. So then I brought it back into the filmmaking because I had this website that I could use for my acting career and like selling my books. I was like, I can also use it for like funding purposes, for my films. And yeah, I think everything you do in life starts informing like as you go what's possible. And so then I was like, you know what, maybe I can be good at business, you know? So it's like it wasn't just like one light bulb moment, like, yeah, I'm good at it. But it was definitely like step by step. But you have to take those little steps, you know, you just have to like dip your foot in and then like take, every opportunity that comes. And also because I like marketing so much, I find it so fascinating.
Welcome back to another episode of Film and Business Podcast. I'm Rosa Camero, your host, film producer, and CEO and founder of Ramiro AI, the first AI powered marketing and distribution assistant designed to help filmmakers save time, cut costs, and reach audiences worldwide. In this podcast, I share strategies, tools, and stories to help you navigate both the creative and business sides of film. Today, we have a very, very special guest in our podcast. I'm joined by Valeria Sweet, an award winning American actress, writer, and producer, known for her powerful screen presence and versatility. Valeria has appeared in the films like The Remedy, Still Waters, and Space Command, Great Solar War, while also creating and producing her own projects that have been recognized at festivals, including Burbank International Film Festival and Los Angeles Movie Awards. This episode is special because we met, actually, Valeria and we met at Cannes. So we are part of this like a
Yes.
really cool community online, at online space. And then she said, I'm going to Cannes. And I said, oh, I'm going to Cannes. And actually we met there and we hit it off really, really well. So it was amazing.
It was incredible. Yeah, meeting you because we already had the same mindset. So we knew something's already going to click. But then we met and you're so warm and you're so kind. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's just amazing, incredible. And the conversation just, flowed. And it was like so
The
wonderful.
same, the
I
same. Yeah, I mean,
was like, why don't we live in the same country?
yeah, why don't we live in the same time zone? Like I need more people like that in my life every day.
No, me too. But
Like
today we are in
you.
the same time
Yes,
zones.
we are. We are. So Valeria is currently in Paris at the moment. And she's taking a little bit of time to be in this podcast with you and with me. So let's take advantage of that. In this episode, we're gonna get to know Valeria in a very special way. So, how she has built her career in this independent film cinema industry that it's crazy, and you're being booked like you have booked role after role after role, and when you're not booked, you have your own projects. So
Yes.
in this episode, we're going to talk about creating your own opportunities and how that worked for you, the balance between being in front of the camera and producing, and lessons she's learned from festivals, recognition, and international projects. So let's dive into it. And the first question for you, Valeria, will be how do you end up first in this industry as an actor and then as a producer?
Oh my gosh. Well, it was a long way coming. I actually got my degree in graphic design. I have a BFA in arts, and I was modeling through college. And then acting kind of fell into my lap because it was modeling. And I thought, oh, I really like the moving picture better. So I started acting, and then actors were told you should start writing. So I started writing. And then since I was writing, I was like, I should produce my own stuff. So I was producing. And then at one point, the director fell out of a project. So then I started directing. So it just kind of like progressed. And it's been progressing ever since.
So, what was your first major breakthrough moment in the film industry?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I always feel like it's the next thing, but Cannes was definitely a big one. Like I think it just kind of like solidified that I broke through, being there with the film. But I feel like you should still celebrate even the smallest wins. So I would say 2019 was actually the time when things started moving more, even though it was, right before COVID hit. During COVID, I learned a lot because we did a lot of self-tapes and I worked on a project that I was like, I should start making my own films, not just working for somebody. And so during COVID, I wrote my first to be feature, and we then filmed the feature, and now we're in the post production of it. So it's been coming, it's just sometimes you're like, okay, but what's the next thing? You already feel like you've done this, so you don't feel like it's a breakthrough necessarily, but it really is. Like every step, every little level you reach, it is a breakthrough. But Can kind of solidified it, I think, not just in my eyes, but in the eyes of other people, because it is a recognition, like you make a feature, but it's not out yet, so people can't see it. So it's like you did a thing, but they don't know you did a thing. But with Can, that is a very major milestone. So for other people, it's like, oh, you went to Can, even though sometimes I don't feel that way because just of the way like the publicity works. So when I came from Cannes, I booked like two feature films back to back. And I think it had something to do with being there and people seeing my like whether it's Instagram or just, people talking about it. So yeah, it's really interesting.
So I want to know more because this podcast is about the business side. So because
Mm-hmm.
everyone is focused on the creativity and I want to make a film, and then it sounds when filmmakers they just like I just made a film. It's like
Mm-hmm.
okay, it's like super easy. It sounds easy, but I know it's like
Oh, it's so
it's
hard.
like yeah, it's hard. So tell me for you to did you produce the film that you mentioned or
I did
wrote
everything. I
it?
wrote it, produced it, directed,
So
acted.
walk us over that process.
Mm-hmm.
Since you started writing writing the script to up to this, you are already in post production. That means that
Yeah.
it already has been paid, it's been produced. You are like getting ready to put the film out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, originally I wasn't even supposed to direct it. I was looking for somebody to direct it because I just thought it was going to be too many things, to do on my own. But I did have a good team and they supported me really well. I had a really good DP. I had, my co-producer, Philip Andre Botello, and it was a supportive environment, even though I did after every set feel like, oh my God, I'm failing at life. Because in your mind, it's like I still have so many things to do. But yeah, it was really cool. I always tell people if you want to do something, like don't wait, just start doing it and things will fall into place. And that's how it was with this film. I think I spent maybe 6 months gearing up to shoot it. So I had that time for like pre-production and um, you know, just like collecting like enough money to start. But I knew I wasn't gonna have all the money in the beginning, but I was like, let's just start it. Let's like almost shoot it like piece by piece, like a short film. So like every week or every weekend we would shoot, a couple of days, 2 to 3 days. And I think we shot it in the span of 2 months. Or actually, no, it was many more months. It was from like October to March. So we shot for about 21 days. So I didn't do it all the way through, but because I started, the momentum started happening and then people got on board and, I put some of my money in and then I also had contributors who've contributed to some of my other projects before and some new people that came in and said, I believe in you, like here's $300 or whatever,
Did you
like
do crowdfunding or it was more your network, like reaching out and asking them for their support?
Well, that's always how crowdfunding worked for me anyway. So this time I didn't use an Indiegogo, which I usually would have, because they still do a percentage,
Mm-hmm.
there's a fee.
Yeah.
And I was like, if you guys want to just have us, let us have all the money instead of like it being taken out of your pay. Um, so I was like, you can just PayPal me and Venmo me or Cash App or check or whatever is easiest for people. And some people don't even trust the websites as much. Um, so so yeah, it was really cool because people were able to contribute on their own terms, and all of their money went to the project. And my money went to the project too. So any money I was making, like I would take any job, on set, and all the money like went straight to the project because it is expensive to make a film, and it was an indie film. So in that, in that sense, it's not as expensive. Like it wasn't hundreds of thousands of dollars, but still, like if you're just making something ground up on your own, that's a lot of money to
It
put into
is.
one thing.
Yeah, and then the budget goes up and goes up. You need more things.
Yeah, it's always
Yeah.
good to have more budget.
Exactly. So tell me about, it was this through your community? I mean, okay, so
hmm
tell us a little bit about your social media background, because you have, and this is super interesting because I know a lot of creators that are against, like, oh, social media, like I have talent, I don't need the social media thing. And we were talking about this in Cannes. So how
hmm
important social media has become to book the role, to book the next gig.
hmm
And you are an expert on this. So tell us about this, like the social media thing, and how good has been for you.
Yeah, it's been really interesting. I've always liked social media, like ever since like MySpace days. I was a MySpace queen, in a sense where I just always liked community. So I always, wanted to be around people, and that included social media. So like talking to, new people, meeting up, whatever it was. So to me, social media is not just like, you post one thing and then okay, find me. It's more like making connections, making friends, which is how I view it. Like I never used it for networking necessarily. It was more like, I want to meet new people, I want to like new people. And so now that it's translated to Instagram in a way that I've also always loved marketing, and I actually kind of worked in music marketing for a while before I went all in on acting. So I promoted a bunch of bands. I used to live in North Carolina, and I also worked for like Capitol Records for a little bit on their street team. So I just used all of my experience and just put it into one thing on Instagram. So my posts, I try to engage people, and whenever I can, I try to like reach out directly and make sure, whether I know them personally or not, like even if they're a fan living, I don't know, in Japan, I try to like fortify that relationship and make sure that we stay connected. And it's not just like it's not a one-way relationship. I feel like it should be both ways. And sometimes it's actually really funny. Sometimes I kind of get like a little deflated when I follow like an Instagram, person, and they're not like one with millions of subscribers, but maybe they're a little bit, their numbers are a little bit more than mine, but they won't reply to their comments or something. And I'm like, why? Like that is your community. Like, you know, um,
So you reply to each one of the comments. I was going to ask you
yeah.
that, like, how do you manage to be in connect with like 80,000 plus followers?
Well, I don't, not 80,000 comment, but those who do, I reply to. And they know that sometimes I won't have time to reply to every one of their messages, but I will reply at some point. But if they want to like engage with me, they can engage with me through comments. So,
So tell me how, so going back to the producing part and then
mhm,
being an actress too,
mhm.
how, what encouraged you to actually, I think you already talked a little bit about it, but I want to go more in depth in how you being an actress decided, I'm gonna make my own thing. I'm gonna create my own opportunities, my own films. What was that behind it? Like what the fueled that decision?
Oh my gosh. I think necessity, necessity of I want to be more than just like a pretty face because that fades, beauty and youth fade, and I kind of want to have other skills. And I wanted to be able to tell my own stories that I wrote. And I felt it was more gratifying because I've definitely worked as a producer or on other things that I didn't act in and didn't write. And I felt like, well, that is somebody else's baby. I felt like an outsider, even though I was producing it, because producing is such an interesting job that nobody really knows what a producer does except for the producer. Nobody knows that like you could be taking out trash, or like it's not just like you putting in the money, or like you are having the connections. It's like on an indie project, that's everything on set,
You're
you
making it
know?
happen. I
Yeah, you're
mean,
making
the
it
producer's
happen.
work, I think it's underrated. I think the producing job
Very
is like
underrated.
yeah, because it's about the film director or the actors, like people in front of the camera, but it's like that's a producer who is doing like magic, trying to figure out how to make
Exactly.
things.
Exactly. Yeah, you're making things happen. And I remember the first project that I made this short film called Lana, and I filmed it in North Carolina, and I was putting it together. And sometimes it's so tough. You're thinking like things are falling apart right before the shoot. Am I really even meant to make this? But then, you put your big pants on, big girl pants on, and you're like, this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen right now. And I've had to do this so many times where I just had to step up and complete something and take charge. There was also another project that I was working on, and it fell apart like 2 days before shooting. And I was like, okay, well, we still have the crew. And I was like, what if we film something of mine? So that's how L for Love came to exist. I made this pitch pilot for a series that I was writing, L for Love. And it literally happened like 2 days before. I I was like, okay, there's only like three more characters that I need. Let me reach out to some of the people, get some of the auditions. And we were filming 2 days later because we already had the crew. And I was like, okay, we can film at my place. I just didn't want to lose the momentum, you know? Sometimes things are going to not go your way, but you can still make lemonade of lemons, right?
I love it. I love how positive and you see the challenges as okay, I'll make it work. So how do you balance your artistic side of filmmaking, your acting career, and with the business side? Because yeah, sometimes filmmakers can be like very much in the clouds, like not seeing the business side.
hmm
Yeah, so how do you balance that?
Oh, it's totally difficult. Like it's very difficult. Um, I felt like business side did not come to me naturally.
Hmm.
And I remember taking a business class like in high school and thinking, oh, I'm really bad at this because I've just never been exposed to it. And it wasn't really explained very well. And so for a long time, I was like, oh, I'm just not good at this. And it might have actually been being in Denise's, money boot camp where we met that made me feel like, you know what, maybe I can do business. And so at the time, I was following a lot of different, female entrepreneurs, and I was trying many different things. And, because I had my film career, but I was also like writing books and doing these like workshops for like your dream life and vision boarding. So it introduced me to the business side of it a little bit more and how it can be sustainable. So then I brought it back into the filmmaking. because I had this website that I could use for my acting career and like selling my books. I was like, I can also use it for like funding purposes, for my films. And yeah, I think everything you do in life starts informing, like as you go, what's possible. And so then I was like, you know what, maybe I can be good at business, you know? So it's like it wasn't just like one light bulb moment, like, yeah, I'm good at it. But it was definitely like step by step. But you have to take those little steps, you know, you just have to like dip your foot in and then like take, every opportunity that comes. And also because I like marketing so much, I find it so fascinating. So that really helps a lot. And I don't view marketing again as like I'm going to sell to you. Like I still don't think I'm good at selling, but I can make friends. And if we can work together, that's great. And then we can build these things. And yeah, it's I'm still managing like what's the balance in that. But I think just like liking these things from the get-go helped balance it out. Because if I didn't like these things, then I wouldn't even do them.
Or you learn to love them. You learn to be comfortable around it. Like I also was very bad. Like I remember when I started my business, I was so bad at selling. Like I couldn't sell. Like I didn't know how. And the I think that the myth out there, especially in this industry, is like if you work for free, they will hire you later in other projects. They will call you, and you will have a lot of you will have a lot of gigs and a lot of opportunities because you work for free. So I did that when I opened my business. I did a lot of free work, and
Hmm.
being in marketing and doing distribution is not. I mean, it's not first not cheap, and second, you cannot go that far without money because that's
Hmm.
like the marketing and distribution, like putting the films in the theaters or in video on demand platforms is if they don't make money, then you don't make money as a distributor. And so that was a very hard lesson for me.
Yeah.
I was okay. I love this industry so much. I love working with films that okay, I'll learn how to sell, and now I love it. I mean, I
I
love.
love
I'm good
it.
at it. I'm
Ah!
good at it.
Do you have a course? I would take a course on selling.
I don't have a course. So I always talk about film and business and you know how important it is to know the knowledge, like to have the knowledge behind the filmmaking process
Hmm.
in the end this is an industry. This is like
Hmm.
you are making products and this
Yeah.
those products need to make money in
Hmm.
order for you to keep making more films.
Hmm.
And I always talk about the like how important it is the business side of this.
Yeah.
And yeah, I wasn't born with, oh, I'm so good at selling. I'm so good at I'm like talking numbers. I was a really good negotiator because when I started
Mm.
my film career, I was in promotions and I was doing like collaborations and partnerships with the, like very
Hmm.
big brands.
Mm.
And I said, well, if I can convince Volvo to give a car, like, well, I can.
Wow.
Well, now I see it that way. Like
Hmm.
in the beginning, I couldn't. But I love how you brought this, like the where we met, like in this community where we met, and Money Bootcamp, and the mindset behind it. And
Hmm.
what do you think about it? What do you think about like should we improve that mindset in the industry? How do you like if in ideal world, an ideal like in this ideal industry, what would you do? Like if you want to change something, like where would you start?
Oh my gosh. Well, mindset is a great way to start because you can just start with yourself. You know what I mean? Like they say, if you want to change the world, change yourself first. And you definitely can't change somebody who doesn't want to be changed. Like they just have to decide for themselves. And but I think when you notice that someone's, for example, using negative self-talk or something, like you can encourage people. Like just giving a compliment to somebody that you might not even know, you don't know how much it could mean to them. Like even if you're just, passing by a woman and you're like, "Oh my God, I love your dress." you know how many conversations that started at like Cannes? I'm now making somebody with like these women in Italy just because somebody said, "Oh my God, I love your dress," and then we just started talking, you know? And I think it's just that knowing that everybody's going through something. So, on the other side, like somebody might be crumbling. So be kind.
Oh, yes,
Don't
please.
just assume it's all about you and like what they did to you is about, you or they're a horrible person. Like everybody has so much stuff on their plan. People have parents, people have parents who, are getting old, like just that aspect of it. So, yeah, I think just being kind to yourself and allowing yourself to think I might, like you were talking about, we might not be good at this right now, but doesn't mean that we can't get better at something because we're, always having this like beginner brain where it's okay to try something new. Yeah, you might not be great at the first time. Nobody is great at it.
It's okay to
But
suck at something.
yeah, it's okay. But just keep going. Like even learning a new language, right? Like
Oof.
it's taking me like 3 years. I'm learning French and Duolingo, but people are like, actually, your pronunciation's good. Or like, I know I'm hearing these words that I understand. I was like, wow. But when I first started, I was like, oh my God, I'm awful. You know, I don't want to say anything out loud, but you got to be kind to yourself. So like you just got to keep trying. Like, okay, it might not turn out on the first try. And that's how it is in business and producing and acting. You just gotta keep going.
I think one lesson that we can have here, like especially in the film industry, the creative industry, not only in the films, but it's like rejection is your friend because you get a lot of those, a lot of rejection. So
Oh yeah. I mean, it's a business thing of conversions, right? You have like a 1 to 3% conversion. So if you reach out to like 100 people, only one or three would say like, yes, I want your thing, or I want to hire you, or whatever it is. So yeah, in acting, it's also um, a game of numbers. So you have 100 auditions, you might only get one or three. And by get doesn't mean like you're going to be booked. That might be like you'll get a call back, or it'll be a maybe, or they'll think about you next time. So you just have to keep going because, yeah, if you don't view it as there's going to be more no's at first, you're going to just stop doing something that you love and you can't quit.
you cannot quit. So what advice would you give to actors who feel stuck waiting for opportunities?
Well, you have to make your own. And that doesn't mean that you have to start making your own films, because I know if you've never done that before, that can be overwhelming. But you can help others make their own films. You can come on as crew sometimes. And I know that I have used a lot of my crew in my film because I knew they were also actors. So I was like, hey, you want to jump in? And it's happened many times. It's happened at least 3 times on my film, and I'm sure more than that because you write one film and then when you're filming it, you're like, dang it, I need somebody here to be like to act opposite this person, and they get lines, and you just never know what's going to happen. Like, just keep connecting with different filmmakers, see what they're up to, what they're doing. And if you can even come on just as a crew member, first of all, you will learn a lot. You should learn everything about every position on set because it really helps inform like what you're doing and like what camera angles are and how the lighting is and just interpersonal relationships. But also you can have, a way in this film. And even if you don't end up acting in it, you made all these connections that you can use for next time. And even, whether you make your own thing or not,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, I agree. Like, finding opportunities, even if it's not like acting, but
hmm
one thing can get you closer.
yeah.
So what have been some of the most valuable lessons you learn from collaborating with our other creatives?
Oh my gosh. Let's see. One of the things was really like pick a lane because even though you're gonna like you can be a multi-hyphenate and I am, like you have to pick a lane at a point in your life. So my first lane is acting, right? So I've been really focusing on acting for the last 2 years. And because I focused in on that, I started booking way more than I've ever booked. Like ever since 2 years ago, like I'm working almost every week. And from collaborating, like you just learn what other people are doing, like how again their mindset is. Um, have people in your close circle who like are really doing it and really like believe in you and believe in themselves because that will rub on you. Like the confidence will always rub off on you. And if someone in your circle is booking, that means that you're next.
Yeah.
If you see anything you want in your immediate circle or just around you, just say, "Oh my God, thank you," as if like you already received it because you wouldn't see it unless it was also meant for you. So don't be jealous, celebrate everybody else's wins. So that's what I've learned from collaborating. Just be super supportive and like celebrate everybody and pick one lane though.
I just remind me to something we were talking in Cannes that you said about, I think I asked you, how do you do to have this full-time job as an actress? And you said something that really stuck with me, that it says like believing that the gigs they will keep coming, that this is like I believe that's what I need to do, and the gigs keep coming in, no? So I think that's a
Yeah.
great like believing.
Yeah, believing before you see it and acting as if you're already doing it. That doesn't mean like acting stuck up. It just means that just believing like, yeah, I can book this. Um, and I think it's really important to just, like I said, like celebrating your wins. At one point, I was celebrating just every audition that was coming in. And I was also counting every audition that was coming in. And because I was doing that, more auditions started coming in, right? So like what is it? What you measure grows, right? If you measure something, it can grow. So also, I was like, okay, well, now I'm going to start celebrating all of my bookings and only count my bookings. So then I only started counting my bookings. And because I was starting, to do that, then more bookings came in. So it's whatever you focus on, like again, what you focus on expands. So even if you don't have anything in your life right now, like to prove it yet, like find the smallest little speck of what it could be, like, oh, well, I got an email from this person. They replied to me, or, I made this new friend in the film industry. So it's just like this every little check mark that you can focus on, and then it's going to grow into like bigger opportunities. So that's, yeah.
Yeah, you're creating new paths in your brain. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like looking for new paths so they can like this is happening. This is
Mm-hmm.
so my next question will be, what do you do? What are the practices that you have as a creative film director and having this mindset on check? So do you have any practices like spiritual practices? Like do you meditate? So what do you do?
Well, I'm a big believer in God, first of all. So I do pray a lot, and sometimes I'll pray between like or right before I even send an email sometimes. Like for example, I'm sending out emails to agents. I'm like, okay, please let it reach the right person. Let them be kind or whatever, or sometimes I'll be like, help me meet the right people for me because I don't know. I don't know what I need to do. Like just lead me. So that's like my first step. And then I also do a lot of guided meditations. So I don't do it every morning, but when I have time, I'll do one in the morning, or if throughout the day I film myself like spinning, then I will like, okay, let me just take 5 minutes and just like listen to something positive. Sometimes it's positive affirmations that are said. Sometimes it's just like a guided meditation to get you through like some anxiety or something like that.
Hmm.
So that helps a lot. I used to journal a lot. I don't do it as much, but when I was on the plane, I did. I was trying to buy a notebook and nobody had notebooks at the airport. And I was like, okay, let me just buy this magazine. And I wrote on the outskirts of the magazine that were white. And I guess I just like really needed to journal, but sometimes it really helps you, get it out of your head or figure something out. Um, like if you want something, journal about what it is you want and how you want to feel, having that. And for example, I was doing some journaling around what kind of agent I want because there was an Asian conversation that I had, and it really like it actually made me cry, like the way they talked to me. And so I wrote, and also you have to write in, positives, don't use like negatives, like I don't want this, or like, I don't want them to be this way. Write how you want them to be. So like you want them to be supportive and encouraging and whatever is appropriate for yourself, but that helps me also, kind of like stay connected to my dreams and writing my dreams and goals. I also don't do this every day, but you should. Like I actually write it down, even if it's if even if you write down the same thing over and over again. And sometimes it will change. Sometimes it'll be like minus this or like plus this. But yeah, I think just keep going and be focused on why you're doing it and what it is that you want, like overall.
I also like to journal. Like
Hmm.
I don't do it every day, but I do journal. And if people out there wanting to start journaling or finding like some practices, there's the Artist Way. This is a book, and it's
That's
really
how I
good.
started
Yeah, I
journaling
also,
too.
me also, because you need to do 3 pages every day for the next. I think I don't remember if it was 1 month or 3 months, and actually just stuck. It just for me it stuck with me. So I don't do it
Hmm.
every day, but I do journal. Like I do, I have my
Hmm.
notebook and I have my. So I then I'm like I'm writing, and I started with the artist way book. So yeah, I think journaling is a
Yeah, I
great
think they're
tool.
called the morning pages. The
The
morning
morning
pages.
pages, yes.
Yeah, yeah, I did that too.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're like, well, sometimes you'll be stuck, so just write your grocery list or whatever, but just keep writing and
Yeah, exactly. It gets better, I think. And then
Yeah.
also it really, I mean, if you're a writer, I think also it's
Oh
a great
yeah.
exercise.
Yeah, that was actually how I got into writing the more because before that I like read every book that on writing, but I wasn't really, writing my own scripts yet. So after the morning pages, it really got me into like writing my scripts. So it worked.
Maybe I'm ready to write a script.
Yes,
I
you
haven't
are.
tried it. I haven't tried it, so maybe
Do
I
it.
am. Yes. You can be in my film.
Okay, you can be my film.
So, looking ahead, what kind of stories are you most passionate about telling?
I want to tell critically acclaimed stories. So whether, these are movies that are going to go to be nominated for Oscars or Cannes, I think I'm really ready for that kind of quality work. Because it takes the same amount of energy to make a bad movie
That's true.
and a movie that's gonna be good and impactful. And I really like stories with a soul, with a heart. And actually, this has nothing to do with movies. It's actually a play. but maybe it will get expanded. I'm doing a one night play, and we did several rewrites with the director, and in the end, he combined a couple of drafts, and it's really wonderful. And it's funny, and it has a heart, and it's like kind of romantic and heartwarming, and all these things that really, hit something with people, just like so yeah, I want to tell people, tell stories that are relatable and also are on a higher level, like quality wise. So
So does it mean that you're gonna like do acting in theater? So you're gonna do theater?
it's just a one night play. I've never said I was going to do plays at all, but I was offered this part, and I worked with this director before and I really liked him. So I don't know, maybe I'll do more theater. We'll see. I haven't performed the play yet, but the whole act of, working on it so far, with him has been really, really cool. And we talked about making at least a short film of it, but he also said like maybe we can make a feature of it. So who knows? Who knows? We're gonna treat it kind of like a workshop, and we've already rehearsed for it, so it'll be interesting.
It sounds exciting. So
Yeah.
we're coming to the end of this episode. And one last question is for the filmmakers listening to us right now, what's one piece of advice you will give about creating your own path in films?
Follow your gut, because a lot of people will tell you you should be doing this, you should be making this, you should be making it this way. And you have to kind of sit with what is important to you and what do you like to watch, because you'll be the person who's going to watch your film the most. And you want to be proud of your work, and it is your legacy. And just don't listen to other people. Like, yeah, it's important to kind of listen to people who've done it before about like how to do it. Don't reinvent the wheel, don't about structure wise. Like, if you need an ID, get an ID. Don't just be like, I'm gonna wing it. But about like creative path and what kind of stuff you make, really just like be true to yourself, because you don't want to, wake up 10 years from now and be like, gosh, I made all these films for money or for whatever it was, but I really don't like to be associated with them or something like that. Like, just really make stuff that makes you happy, because that means it's going to make other people happy too. Like, you'll find your audience.
Yeah, I agree with not taking the advice of everyone. Like you choose the advice that it serves you,
Mm-hmm.
because not all the advice out there it's for you. I mean, and then also people they just like brutal the advice. It's like you don't ask for it, and then they tell you. It's like
Yeah.
okay.
Oh yeah. I've had so many people tell me what I should be doing. I mean, so many.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like,
Mm.
okay, I got another one. Now I need to listen to you. Like, yeah, thank you. I
Yeah,
think
thank
we're
you.
too nice. We're too nice. Maybe we should be like, thank you, sir, but I don't need your advice right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is what I kind of do now. I'm like, thank you so much, but this is the path that I'm on, or I'm more comfortable doing this, or, I nicely, but tell people that I'm on my own path. Like, this is what's working for me. So thank you, but no, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, but no, thank you. So tell us where we can find you, where, like, yeah, tell us about you and where to find you and how people listening to the podcast can connect with you.
Yeah, you can connect with me on Instagram at Valeria Sweet Official. And also you can check out my IMDb. That's imdb.me/Valeria Sweet.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for
Valeria.
having me. This was so
Yeah.
fun.
Yes, and it was like it goes like this. Every time I have like a very interesting interview, it just go like boop.
Aw.
It just it's gone. So enjoy Paris. Have a great,
Thank
great trip,
you.
and l- go back to your busy life
Yeah.
in LA.
I'm not ready.
I know you can
Hmm.
always say no.
Well, this particular one was like, well, do you want to be on set until April? And I was like, yes.
Yeah, no, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paris will be there.
Yes, it'll wait.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. You're awesome.
Bye.